The gym smelled like rubber and ambition when I walked into Elite Fitness that Tuesday morning. I've been putting off getting back in shape for months, but my doctor's warning about my blood pressure finally scared me into action. Before I continue with the rest of the story, kindly do me a little favor. Please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment your favorite part of the story below. I love reading your thoughts and reactions. They truly keep me going. Now, allow me to take a moment to appreciate you. Yes, you. Thank you for making us a 32-strong community. Each one of you is a pillar of strength, color, and courage. This journey wouldn't be possible without your love, your voice, and your presence. You are making the queer community proud, and I see every one of you. Your support is not just a number. It's a movement. It's light in the dark. It's love, loud and unashamed. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for standing with me. Thank you for being you. Now back to the story. You must be Alex, a voice said behind me. I turned and nearly dropped my water bottle. The man approaching was tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair and the kind of smile that should come with a warning label. I'm Ryan, your trainer. His handshake was firm, confident, and lasted just a moment too long. Ready to get started? I wasn't ready for anything, especially not the way my pulse quickened when he placed his hand on my lower back to guide me toward the equipment. Form is everything, Ryan said, his voice low and steady, the kind that somehow made you want to listen, even if you didn't fully understand why. He stepped in behind me as I struggled through my first proper squat, the bar resting awkwardly on my shoulders. His hands found my hips, firm, precise. He adjusted my stance, nudging my feet slightly wider, rotating one just so. Feel how your body wants to move, he said, his tone somewhere between the coach's command and something far more intimate. I nodded, trying to breathe, trying not to notice the press of his chest just behind my shoulder blades, the scent of citrus and sweat clinging to him like second skin. The gym was nearly empty at this hour, just the two of us, the distant clink of weights, and the whisper of the air conditioning humming like a lullaby. I focused on the movement, but my balance trembled, not from the weight, but from him. Better, Ryan murmured, his breath grazing the shell of my ear, sending a ripple of goosebumps down my arms. But you're still holding back. I straightened up too quickly, chest heaving. I'm trying. He smiled, that infuriatingly calm, confident smile that haunted my thoughts since the first session. Trust me to guide you. His eyes held mine, serious, unwavering, and I did trust him. Or at least I wanted to. 3 weeks into our sessions, he'd seen more of me, my limits, my struggles, my weak spots, than most people I call friends. But it wasn't just the physical. There was an energy building, unspoken but undeniably present. Glances that lingered just a second too long. Hands that corrected form, but stayed a moment after the adjustment. Words layered with double meaning, even when surrounded by kettlebells and resistance bands. I picked up the bar again, settling into place. Ryan didn't move from behind me. Instead, his hand rested lightly on my lower back, a steady anchor. This time, he said, breathe with me. His voice softened, his chest rising and falling in slow, deliberate rhythm behind me. I matched it. Inhale, exhale, and then the movement. The squat came easier this time, like my body was no longer fighting itself. But it wasn't just breath or posture. It was him, his presence, his energy, his belief in me. As I rose, his hand slid from my back to my waist, holding steady. Not inappropriate. Not yet, but it lingered. You're stronger than you think, he said quietly, close enough that I could feel the rumble of his voice in my spine. When I turned to face him, we were too close. Neither of us stepped back. His eyes dropped in my mouth for just a fraction of a second, and when they returned to mine, something had shifted. The air between us cracked, thin, taut. Ryan, I began, but I didn't know what I was going to say. Stop. Go. Stay. His gaze softened, but he didn't touch me again. We're done for today, he said, stepping back just enough to let the cold back in. I watched him walk away, towel slung over his shoulder, muscles moving under his shirt like choreography. My heart was pounding, and not from the workout. And somehow, I knew tomorrow's session wouldn't be any easier. Not with him. Not like this. "You're too tense," Ryan observed after a particularly challenging workout. "All that stress is locked in your shoulders and back." He led me to the stretching area, gesturing for me to lie face down on the mat. "I'm going to help you release some of that tension." His hands found the knots in my shoulders, working them with practiced skill. I bit back a groan as he worked deeper, his strong fingers finding every spot that ached. "Relax," he whispered. "Let me take care of you." Something in his tone made my breath catch. When I turned my head slightly, I found him watching me intently, his dark eyes holding an expression I couldn't quite read. "The gym closes in an hour," Ryan mentioned as we finished our evening session. "But if you want to work on that flexibility issue, I could stay late." I should have said no. Should have gone home to my empty apartment and my frozen dinner. Instead, I nodded. The lights dimmed automatically as closing time approached, leaving us in shadows broken only by the emergency lighting. Ryan locked the front door, and suddenly the vast space felt intimate, private. "Just us," he said, turning back to me. "No distractions." "This stretch requires complete trust," Ryan explained, positioning me on my back on the mat. "I'm going to guide your leg, but you have to let go of control." He knelt beside me, lifting my leg slowly, his hands warm against my calf and thigh. "Feel that stretch? Breathe into it." I closed my eyes, focusing on the sensation, on the careful way he manipulated my body. When I opened them again, he was watching my face intently. "How does that feel?" he asked, his voice lower than usual. "Good. I managed. Really good." Something shifted in his expression. "Alex." "Yeah." "Nothing. Let's try the other side." The next morning, Ryan was all business. Professional distance, no lingering touches, no intense eye contact. I felt the change immediately and hated how much it disappointed me. Did I do something wrong? I asked after a particularly impersonal session. He paused, towel in hand. "No, I need to maintain appropriate boundaries with my clients." "Is that what this is about? Client boundaries?" He looked at me for a long moment. What else would be about? The question hung between us, loaded with everything we weren't saying. "There's a fitness competition next month," Ryan mentioned the following week. "Thought you might be interested in entering." "Me? I'm not nearly ready for something like that." "You're stronger than you think." He moved closer, adjusting my grip on the weights. "I could train you specifically for it. Extra sessions, specialized program." "That sounds intense." "It would be." His eyes met mine. "Are you up for intense?" The double meaning wasn't lost on either of us. Ryan's apartment gym was smaller than Elite Fitness, but perfectly equipped. "We can train here in the evenings," he explained. More focused, no interruptions. The first private session was torture in the best possible way. Without other gym members around, the energy between us was impossible to ignore. Every correction of my form became an excuse for contact. Every shared laugh felt charged with possibility. "You're distracted tonight," he observed as I fumbled through a simple exercise. "Sorry, Don't apologize." He stepped closer. "Just tell me what's on your mind." I couldn't. Not yet. "I can't do this anymore," Ryan said suddenly during our third private session. My heart sank. "The training? I know I'm not progressing as fast." "Not the training." He ran his hands through his hair, frustrated. Us, pretending there's nothing happening here. The admission hung in the air between us. I set down my weights, turning to face him fully. "Ryan, I know it's unprofessional. I know I should keep things separate. But Alex, he stopped, shaking his head. "You what?" "I think about you all the time." "I think about you too," I admitted, the words coming out in a rush. Every day. It's driving me crazy. Relief flooded his features. Thank God. I thought I was losing my mind. We stood there for a moment, the truth finally out in the open. The tension that had been building for weeks seemed to crackle in the air around us. So what do we do now? I asked. I don't know. He stepped closer. I've never been in this situation before. What situation? Falling for a client. When Ryan's hand cupped my face, I leaned into the touch without thinking. His thumb traced my cheekbone, and I felt something inside me come undone. Is this okay? He whispered. Instead of answering, I covered his hand with mine, pressing it more firmly against my cheek. His eyes darkened, and suddenly the space between us felt too vast. Alex, he breathed, and then his lips found mine. The kiss was gentle at first, tentative, but when I responded, deepening it, his control seemed to slip. His arms came around me, pulling me against him, and I felt the solid strength of his body against mine. We should talk about this, Ryan said the next morning over coffee at his kitchen table. What's to talk about? Everything. He reached across the table, taking my hand. My job, professional ethics, what this means. I turned my hand in his, lacing our fingers together. What do you want it to mean? More than just trainer and client. His thumb stroked across my knuckles. A lot more. Then let's figure it out. We decided I'd switch to a different trainer at the gym while continuing to see Ryan privately, both for training and for whatever this was becoming. Without the professional barrier between us, everything changed. Ryan's touches became bolder, more intentional. During our workouts, he found excuses to guide my movements, to correct my form with his hands. You're getting stronger, he observed, running his palms down my arms after a particularly challenging set. Good trainer. I replied, breathless for more than just the exercise. It's not just the training. His hand stilled on my biceps. You're more confident. It shows. Maybe I have a reason to be confident. He smiled, that devastating smile that had hooked me from day one. Yeah? What's that? Instead of answering, I kissed him. Tell me something about yourself that you've never told anyone, Ryan said one evening as we cooled down after our workout. We were lying on his living room floor, still catching our breath, and the question caught me off guard. That's a big ask. I'll go first. He turned onto his side, facing me. I've never felt this way about anyone before. This intense. It scares me. The honesty in his voice made my chest tight. It scares me, too. Good scared or bad scared? Both, I admitted, but mostly good. When the power went out during a particularly fierce thunderstorm, we found ourselves working out by candlelight. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the walls, turning Ryan's apartment into something magical and intimate. We should probably call it a night, Ryan said, but neither of us moved from where we sat on the floor, backs against couch. Probably, I agreed, making no effort to get up. Lightning illuminated the windows, followed by a crash of thunder that seemed to shake the building. Without thinking, I moved closer to Ryan's warmth. Come here, he said softly, and I let him pull me against his chest. I've been thinking, Ryan said during our next session, his hands working the tension from my shoulders. About us. About what we're doing. I tensed under his touch. Having second thoughts? No. His fingers found a particularly tight knot, working it gently. The opposite. I want more. More training. More everything. He leaned down, his lips brushing my ear. More time together. More honesty. More us. I turned in his arms, finding his face inches from mine. What are you saying? I'm saying I don't want to pretend this is just about fitness anymore. Move in with me. The words slipped out during a quiet moment after our workout, and I immediately wished I could take them back. Ryan went very still beside me on the couch. Alex! Forget I said anything. It's too soon, I know. It's not too soon. He turned to face me fully. I've been thinking the same thing. Really? Really? He smiled, that soft, genuine smile I'd grown to love. I want to wake up next to you. I want to train with you every day. I want everything. Packing up my old apartment felt like closing one chapter and opening another. Ryan helped, of course, lifting boxes that would have strained my back just months ago. I caught him watching me sometimes, expression of pride and something deeper in his eyes. "What?" I asked, catching him staring as I taped up another box. "Just thinking about how far you've come." He set down the box he was holding and moved closer. "Physically, sure, but more than that. Thanks to you." "No." He shook his head. "You did the work. I just provided motivation. Is that what we're calling it?" He laughed, pulling me into his arms. Among other things, our first morning waking up together in Ryan's apartment felt like a revelation. Sunlight streamed to the windows, and I could hear the city coming alive below us. Ryan's arm was wrapped around my waist, his breathing still deep and even with sleep. "Morning," he murmured when he felt me stir, his voice rough with sleep. "Good morning." He pressed a kiss to my shoulder, then another to my neck. "Ready for our workout?" "Always." But instead of getting up, he pulled me closer, and I melted into his embrace. Outside, the world was waking up, but here in Ryan's arms, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. "I love you," he whispered against my hair, and the words sent warmth flooding through my entire body. "I love you too." We lay there as the morning light grew stronger, two bodies perfectly aligned, hearts beating in sync. The journey that started with simple fitness goals had become something neither of us had expected, a love that was deeper than any workout, stronger than any exercise routine. When we finally made it to our morning session, every movement felt different. Every touch, every shared glance, every moment of physical connection was infused with the knowledge that this was just the beginning. Ryan pushed me harder than ever, and I rose to meet every challenge, knowing that whatever came next, we'd face it together. In the mirror that covered one wall of his home gym, I caught sight of us moving together, and I barely recognized a confident, strong person looking back at me. This was who I'd become under Ryan's guidance, not just physically, but emotionally, complete. As we finished our cool down, Ryan pulled me into his arms one more time, and I knew that this was what true partnership felt like. Not just trainer and client, not just lovers, but two people who found in each other exactly what they've been searching for without even knowing it. The rest of our story was still being written, one workout, one kiss, one perfect moment at a time.